Willie D. Live.
I might talk reckless about single mothers because I know it's a bad state. I also donate to a church that supports single mothers with children in Pasadena, California, right? Everything that I talk about, I put in work on, and it's because I care. And that's why I don't mind people being critical, but my only question is, well, what are you doing about it? So like when Charlie Kirk or Nick Fuentes want to say something about black people, I'm like, hold on one second, Scrap. What do you do for black people? Oh, nothing? Shut up then.
Right.
Shut up then. I'll talk about mine because I'm actually doing the work. If you're not doing the work, be silent. And I don't want to hear people like, oh, well, I'm lobbying for this law or this policy. No, hell not. Get on the ground with it. Go help a person, help a human. So what other people say about us, it doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why. The people who like you, they're going to be understanding and forgiving. The people who don't like you, doesn't matter what you did or what you said. They're always going to look down on it,
So we're on the same page.
Yeah.
We're on the same page right there because I absolutely feel the same way. My attitude towards them is fuck them because they want to have an excuse anyway to not like us. Mm-hmm. They want to, if they already jump to the conclusion, if they hear you saying something disparaging about black women, and they jump on it and go like, oh, they ain't nothing, they already was thinking that anyway.
Guaranteed.
And had you not said it, they still would have been thinking that.
That's a fact.
So fuck them anyway. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're on the same page with that, man. I really don't give a damn what they think because in order for them to have that type of mentality and that thought process in the first place, that means they already got something against me.
Right.
You did.
Mm-hmm. You didn't plant the seed on that. Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Man, what are your thoughts about black males in regards to black men reimagining themselves since the advent of social media? And specifically reimagining their self-worth. And what do you think is some of the biggest misconceptions that black males have about, their lot in life?
I do also want to state for the record that people think like, oh, you talk about negative about women. Like, nah, I be across the board with mine. People don't do their research. But with regards to black men, and I'll speak about black culture as well briefly. Again, I said Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson's, any of that, like we're very influential, but it used to be that we organically create culture in our neighborhood amongst ourselves, and then the culture gets commercialized, and then it gets projected onto the television. You can see it on MTV and BET, which is not black owned apparently, and you can see it and learn about it, but it's reflecting what's in the neighborhood. And others will learn about us from the television. I remember the first time I met some Germans and they came to the United States and they said, Marquett, I don't understand. Where are all of the black people? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, I see you guys so much on television, Will Smith, so many TV show, but in your country, it is not many black people here. They didn't realize that we're just that 10% of the population because our influence is so great. Now, I say all that to say this. It used to be black people have organic, real culture. It gets commercialized and then projected out to the world. People, the outsiders, learn about us from the media, good or bad. Now, Netflix produces images of black people, how the white liberals would want us to behave. It's behavior modification. And then they push the imagery down to the neighborhoods, down to us, the consumers. And black people are the worst in terms of nomophobia, phone addiction, and social media consumption. We're unproductive and idlers. So they push images of us back to us, and then they tell us who we are. We're not telling them who we are, they're telling us who we are, and that's where you got a Lil Nas X from. Because if you remember hip hop, and you're a rapper, you created hip hop history. I remember DMX, I remember, you watch a good battle after the battle, Kata used the F word, and not to say that I support any of this kind of behavior, but it was hyper masculine. It's embedded in the culture. People say no homo. There's a certain positioning and posture of the black male identity and consciousness. Then how did Lil Nas X get created? because I don't know in what neighborhood it was like, yo, I want to see a gay rapper in pink Ugg boots doing a music video in a jailhouse. Like, that's what I want to see right now. So that was a creation at the level of the Netflix and the producer class. It's a certain group of people who are not black, or some of them are like bootlickers and they are black and they're doing us a great injustice. Now, you didn't tell me not to say certain things before this. I'm gonna just say what it is, but like we have people like Tyler Perry's, and they create certain characters in the media, and the black women support with their dollars and their talk, and they blow up these images, and then those images are projected back down to us, and then we think things are acceptable that are not acceptable. How is it the population that had the highest level of religiosity is now being penetrated by the Skittle guzzlers at this level? You see, they're not producers, they're recruiters, so they have to recruit. Netflix, social media, that's the mechanism of recruitment. TikTok, that's the mechanism. And the reason we have to go Taliban time and have men at the leadership is because we are the ones that draw the line in the sand on morality. Now, I say that to say this, the black male is in great disrepair because we were the #1 target for attack. They viewed us, the liberal, white liberals, those who influence media, they viewed us as a revolutionary group. You can look at programs like COINTELPRO. We've always been seen as a revolutionary group because we're so influential. That can do a lot of damage. And we're also viewed as a group that's hyper masculine, not only in appearance and stature, but also in culture. And this is in our blood. If you look in Africa today, there's many places where there's capital punishment for sexual deviance. So they had to reimagine the black male. We didn't reimagine, they reimagined, then they told us who we are. And now you see those boys in Atlanta wearing skinny jeans, like, damn, you're sagging and you're still wearing skinny jeans? This is crazy. Oh, you got a purse with it too, my boy? It's getting crazy out here. And so now we find that the black man is no longer a man, he's a black male. And increasingly the female is trying to drive him into greater feminine behavior, which should be easy to do because 70% of black males were raised by a black female who's been conditioning him over time. And even if you went to the elementary school, it has a great emptiness in terms of men in it. And if there are men, they're mostly LGBTQ. And I know firsthand experience because I did a program called Teach for America that was overpopulated by liberal white women, whether they're literally liberal white women or they're like blacks masquerading as, liberal white women, and homosexual males. And then they send them into the schools. And Teach for America, they were the origins of DEI and teaching about all of the different ways of being. And then they preach that ideology to the children and help confuse the children 8 hours a day while you're at work as a single mom working 3 jobs. So all of that destruction has been done, and it's been hyper targeted to the black man, because they had to use these other tools to get us, because we weren't the ones going to their universities, it was the black female. Because males in general are not performing in the educational system because it's female oriented. Why? Sit down, shut up, listen, and then regurgitate. That's great for females because their wiring is to be less tactile, less hands-on, less moving. Black boys are made a problem of in the educational system. That's why they call us, they say we have oppositional defiant disorder. They give us an IEP and they say that we're, this and that, and put these labels on us. The original work on that was not Dr. Umar. It was from one greater than him, Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu, which is the guy that Dr. Umar bootlegged all of his ideas from. And that guy was productive. Shout out to Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu, now deceased.
Mm. Wow. Man, I saw you on Instagram. You be lighting that Instagram up, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow this man on Instagram. I mean, lighting them up. You was lighting up some dude was ask you would you be offended if he called you a monkey, and boy, you tore that boy down. I mean, like ripped him up, man. Man, where you get that from, man? Who in your family? Is there anybody in your family that's like that, man? That's really quick on their feet with the insults?
Well, that's another thing in black culture. We play the dozens, and you as a rapper, that. We always been sharp with language. And in fact, I think in America, if you look at America's great orators, we're overrepresented as black people, right? The Malcolm X, the Martin Luther King. You ain't seen nobody put words together like Martin Luther King. I don't agree with his ideology, but he throw them words together.
He put the words together, but he had a clapback.
Nah.
He ain't had it. I'm talking about that street vernacular,
Yeah.
clapback, educated, like your clapback is it's an additional disrespect towards your clapback because it's calm, it's measured, it's well thought out, it's zero profanity, it's when you clap at somebody, man, like you don't really leave any wiggle room, man. Like usually there's some wiggle room for somebody to come back or whatever. But I just be seeing them, like I seen dude after dude after dude. I mean, you tearing them dudes up. I mean, dude after dude after dude after dude get destroyed. And I'm like, why in the hell is they messing with this man?
It'd be crazy. They still keep,
if they know.
I'd be shocked myself.
Yeah, like why would you even like? I'm not going live with this dude, man. I'm not getting on your live talking no shit. You know, like where does that come from though, man? Like I got you though that is part of our culture and everything, but.
I'm assuming the same is true in Houston. You know, when we were young boys, you wanted to be a hooper or a rapper, or a drug dealer, a successful drug dealer. That's pretty much all it was. My hoop game was decent, and you know, I was convinced I was going to be a rapper. Now, see, I never smoke or drink, and so I had to cut that off because you can't go to the studio apparently without smoking and drinking. So I had to get up out of there. But very early on. You know, and also you got to remember, I was the poorest kid. Before I started hustling, I was like the poorest kid. So it's like, you know, you wearing the pro wings and the shoes nobody never heard of because they're in Payless. And apparently you cannot save money as a black person. Saving money as a black person is out of the question. So when you already know they coming for you, like your mom then went and got you the Payless joints that nobody's heard of. You already know when you lacing them joints up, you know as soon as you get to school, it's going to be an issue. And then the last piece is, I'm dealing with the facts. And when I talk to people, I'm a very observant person. And what I figured out from my mother, because my mother's not the brightest star in the sky or the sharpest knife in the drawer, but she knows how to make her way in this world because she's never been afraid to ask for help. She needs some help, she'll ask somebody. And also, she gonna buckle down and be diligent and do what she has to do to make things work. And I believe in the ability of the black woman to thrive and survive. That's why I'm not worried about EBT wiping out black women. Black people have made it through a lot more than EBT not being around. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely correct.
I believe in them.
Yeah.
But, you know, going in, knowing that you was going to have to deal with people verbally, and me being someone who's very observant, hyper observant and diligent, and I'm seeing everything, I'm going to talk about the thing ain't nobody even ever said to you. You ain't even know what's wrong with you.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? You ain't even know what's wrong with you, but I peeped it. And you know, the funny thing is, I actually got to a point where I stopped like joking with people, maybe around like the 6th grade, because I was like more so just talking the facts. And I noticed that it would break people down so quickly and so deeply that they always just want to fight.
Right, right.
So I couldn't even play when everybody was playing. I just couldn't even get in it because they're going to want to fight because I'm going to go too deep. And the worst thing about it, because I'm insensitive, like I was raised not to be sensitive, and I'll just give a note on that real quick afterward. But because I'm not sensitive, I'd never gauge properly like when you're really hurting somebody. So I never even just get into it. And the reason I was insensitive is because my family, the women in my family, were convinced that they had to make me a man. And I think in the absence of a man being there and knowing what a man actually is, they use their imagination. Mm-hmm. And in their imagination, a man had to be super strong and very resilient and very tough and very hard. And that's what they made me into, probably to a fault. And so that's pretty much where it came from. But a lot of these characters you see on the internet, they come with recycled things that I've heard before or I've anticipated. And the challenge with them is that I actually know who I am as a black human being, which most black people have not the foggiest idea of. And I also know who they are. And that's the part that is new. Most of us don't know who we are, so we surely don't know who they are. And so the last one you were talking about, that was a guy who's an Egyptian. So you're not an Egyptian, you're an Arab. You're an Arab on stolen land. And I can recount to you that history. Like, how Egyptian can you be when the Assyrians have gone through there, the Greeks have gone through there, the Romans have gone through there, the Arabs have gone through there. You had 5 civilizations conquer you, and you think that you are the original people that were in Kemet? Give me a break. And then they say things like, you're a monkey. You're like, oh, well, this is not a new one. They've been saying this for hundreds of years. And, the funnier thing, they used to call us Neanderthals. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. And then they found out we don't have Neanderthal DNA. They do. So these are the things that I expect. I already know what they're going to say, and I know who they are. And what I do, same thing I've always been doing, I just talk the facts. I just tell them who they are.